2 years ago, at the Vancouver International Airport, there had been a kidnapping. The terrorists have taken over the airplane and held a Japanese woman, national hostage. Hello guys, my name is Ben, and I talk about anime. Yes guys, I know, my English is bad, but I hope you understand me. Well, subscribe to my channel and enjoy watching this video. Let's go. They demanded fuel, and a pilot in exchange for the girl's life, Yuji Kaizumi, codename Boomerang, is in his firing position, 200 meters away from the plane. He was ordered by Second Lieutenant Justic McMyer to shoot the target. Once he does that, a suppression unit of a soldier named Daniel Bourne, nicknamed Danny, will breach simultaneously. Yuji claims that it's impossible, but the captain named Agnes Carrot gets annoyed and angrily orders him to do his job anyway. Then a communication officer named Robert Wilson, nicknamed Robbie, sends data to Eugene's PC. The data was a bush dog icon. As the man finished fueling the plane, a terrorist who is holding a girl hostage come out while pointing a gun at her, as they are ready to trade a pilot for the girl. This allows you to smoke the terrorist, which is a direct hit on the terrorist's hand, which the shot successful, just in order Danny and his unit to infiltrate the plane. After that, Yuji rescues the girl, who uses water to clean the blood from her face, and gets picked on by Danny. Yuji picks up the girl's ID, and it says she's Irutaka, which reveals the girl's identity. Danny did not think that, despite looking young, she's older than him and Yuji. Cesare gets annoyed and tells them that she is the principal of a school. Before leaving, she offers Yuji something as thanks for rescuing her. Yuji has made a decision. He wants to become an ordinary student in an ordinary school. In Gaby's office, in the Haikyuu, she did some research about Eugene's personal life. According to the record, Yuji has his family, Ruji Kazumi, Yuji's father, and the owner of a small antique shop, Satoko Kazumi Yuji, a mother whose spirit was weak and was reliant upon the other's affections, and Keisuke Kazumi, Yuji's sister, blessed with her talent of science and art since her childhood and had a promising future, but was killed as a victim in a many-bus disaster. Yuji is the second child of the Kazumi family, 2 years younger than Suzuki, and he was treated harshly by those around him. In a flashback, Mizuki was 4 years old, and her father Ruji was impressed by Zuka's talent for drawing pictures. 6 years later, when she was 10 years old, her skills in painting have improved, and pieces of her drawing are said to be worth several million yen. After a brief flashback, Shiro comes inside the office to inform Gaby that Yuji had arrived. After Yuji comes inside and sat down, GB informs him that she reads the documents that he sent to her and asked him 5 questions regarding Suzuki's death. It all happened when he was a young boy who was having a hard life and was treated like a fool, and Kaisuke was worried about him. The next day, Yuji and Kazuki were playing catch with their ball, and Kaisuke wants him to throw the ball with his left hand, which he does so perfectly. Later that day, while walking home, she told him to never give up and work hard, even if the situation will be worse afterward. Yuji was drawing a picture, and despite looking cartoonish, Kaisuke liked it and put his drawing next to her painting. However, Ruji was disabled, sized, and he told Kiyosaki to remove the picture, but she refused and claiming that she liked it. But then Yuji appeared and tore up his picture, which shocked Suzuki, and Ruji scolded him for trying to be spiteful. Later that night, Kiyosaki was sad and felt sorry. The next day, Yuji met a man who was talking to Ruji, the man who gave him a bar of chocolate from his music box. Ryuji told that man that unlike Suzuki, Yuji liked his talent for drawing. After that, Ryuji angrily asked Suzuki why she could improve her pictures, but she claimed that it was because she a child. Later, Yuji asked her why she lied for her father when he knew that she could draw better pictures, and she answered that it was irritating to be thought of. Then she showed in the manga that she borrowed from a girl in class, and after she's done reading it, she will let it to him. She then wants him to make some friends so he can play with them. A moment later, Kiyosaki cancelled her plans to study in Paris and maintain a relatively quiet lifestyle. But even then, her paintings have impressed a lot of people that at night time, Yuji was left all alone at home, while his parents and Keisuke went out. When Keisuke came back, she is shocked of Yuji eating bread while drinking it in the glass of water, but then she opens the fridge to show him the food so that he can eat them. He told her that he would get scolded if he ate the food from the fridge without permission, but she will scold their parents for scolding him. Keisuke felt guilty for leaving him all alone and that he was eating bread. The next day his father hated him now more than ever, and his mother Sateko was avoiding him. Later Yuji went back to Kazuki and told her that he made a friend, and it was a girl named Sachi. Coming, Keisuke gets jealous when he met a female friend and forbids him for making any more female friends that she did not approve of. However, she told him that she will find an appropriate girl for him. Interrupts Yuji's story by asking him about the practical jokes by Kazuki, and he continued his story by explaining it to her. Yuji and Keisuke were taking a bath and she watched him. Keisuke asked him if he ever kissed a girl, and he told her that he did. So Suzuki proceeded by kissing Yuji on the lips, which indicates that it is Yuji's first kiss. Afterward, she told him that incest is when siblings love each other but cannot get married to each other. She then asked him if she is abnormal to him for loving him so very much, but he told her that she is just right, which made her happy as she thanked him. Then eventually, Keisuke enrolled at Taxonomics Atomy, but she did not join the Fine Arts Club. She instead joined the basketball club. Later, back in the Kazumi residence, while the family is eating, she smiled at him because even though he feared her, he depended on her. Keisuke lifestyle will continue for all eternity as she heads out on a field trip. But one day it leads her to the events of the minibus disaster, where there was a sole survivor, and it wasn't Keisaki. It was a girl named Emma Sulu, who was to anyone back then. Keisuke is dead, and Satoko was devastated by the fact that she died, while Yuji fell into depression and became an alcoholic. Soon after, Ryuji began a bushing bath Satoko and Yuji whenever he demanded more alcohol. The next day, Yuji and Satoko moved out of their home, away from Ryuji, and they moved into their new home. They were having a peaceful life for a year, until one day Raichi managed to find Satoko and abused her once more. Yuji tried to stop him, but Ryuji hit his face and caused him to fall. And then Ryuji started playing Satoko, and Yuji has had enough of him and decides to kill his father. When he remembered that, Hazuki asked him which hand would use to kill a man. Yuji stopped up and finally hits Ryuji with a glass bottle of alcohol and causes him to spill blood on the walls. Yuji saves Satoko by killing Ryuji out of his life, since Satoko is scared for life and unable to run away. She wanted Yuji to run to the station as night falls. Yuji heard an ambulance and ran back home to witness the corpse of Ryuji. He then ran inside and witnessed a person who was hanged, and that person who his mother. Satoko committed suicide, and then Yuji passed out and was taken to the hospital. After waking up in the hospital, Yuji reads a note that was covered in blood. It was Satoka's suicide note, and he cried soon after. One man released Yuji from the hospital. It was a man named Riki Shihara, the same man that Yuji met a while ago. Then after, Reed took him inside his mansions and made Yuji put on the girl's clothes and a girl's wig, so Yuji to look like his sister Kazuki. He then touched him in a place that made you feel uncomfortable. Then on a stormy night, there was that one man who came inside the room and slapped Yuji in his face. However, Yuji got back up and killed that man. Ryuji came back and was impressed with what Yuji has done. He took Yuji back to his room and told him that he is not mad for killing that man. Yuji remembered that it was a cold country, and in that country Ri was known as Hiv Oslo, and Yuji called him that. He then enrolled Yuji in a terrorist training camp while he liked him, that makes the other boys hate Yuji. Yuji was then trained to snap in a long range, but then one of the boys beat Yuji up in a fight, leaving him injured. However, Yuji met a girl named Marilyn, who treated his wounds and shared with him some food. The next day he trained Yuji how to fight with real blades and how to snipe at enemies. The one day there was a graduation exam where Yuji must defeat and kill his opponent in a fight to the death, and his opponent was none other than Marilyn. As the fight begins, Yuji gains the upper hand by punching Marilyn as she falls. He then kicks her down, but when his scream reminds him of his mother's scream, it shocked him when she was about to become like his father. The other boys, they wanted him to finish her, but instead of killing her, Yuji held back in fear, allowing Merlin to stand up and beat him up while she laughed like a maniac. He gets mad and demands Yuji to stand up and fight, but it was too late for Merlin. Defeated Yuji by kicking him sky high. Yuji had failed his graduation exam and he was disappointed and dragged him to a prison wall. Later, Marley come inside the prison, well to wash Yuji wounds off, regretting what she had done to him and apologizing to him with the same words that reminded him of his mother's words. Then, after feeding him some food, Marley told him that she will graduate soon, despite her bad fighting skill. Marley then graduated from the camp, and she never saw Yuji again. She was hoping that she will see her again if she survived, but one day the nurse told him that Marlin was killed in action, which saddens him. 2 months passed, and he gave Yuji another chance to graduate, which tax was an actual assassination, where he disguised himself as Kazuki and moved to Canada to kill his target. He went to a hotel to meet with a man who gave him money for doing nothing, and then Yuji killed that man by stabbing his neck with a pen. That accident reminded GB that she was a member of an American intelligence agency. Yuji then told her that the CIA called him a T-01 and found terrible. Number 1, as he has heard it from Masako. JB then found out about the victims. Glenn McPherson, a judge from the International Court of Justice who was stabbed in his neck. Harold Bowen, CEO of the American bank ABM, who was killed from a broken neck. Baronet Robert French, left-wing radical and a member of the Nationalists, Billy who was strangled, and Paul Graham, a freelance journalist who was crushed and died in a car accident. GB could not grasp Eugene's true identity until that one night when they infiltrated his also residence and found him. A bunch of armed men appeared, and a woman named Asako Kurosaki began infiltrating the mansion. After they broke in, they killed some of his guards, one by one. When Asako and the other broke inside his room, he himself was not there, and then the men were ambushed by more of his guards, until Masako killed all the guards. They went downstairs, exploded the door, and found the girl inside. Asako thought it was a girl, but when the wig fell off, she found out that she is a boy. After that, she took him out of the mansion and was informed that he got away, and that is where Yuji first met Asaka. Meanwhile, he did manages to escape with the other man who was working for him, as he'd said that he will meet Yuji again one day. Yuji's story about the dark past has finally ended for now, and Yuji told GB they should take a breather. Meanwhile, in the studio dormitory, while watching another episode of Tuna Man, Makino was cheering for Tuna Man, but Sachi suddenly fell in love with Tuna Man's archenemy, Shark Man, and cheered for him instead. Miskyu asked the girls about Yuji whereabouts, and Makino teased her by asking her if she is lonely, which Mitsuru denies it. Sachi then told Mr. Kraki to get used to being alone, as she used Yumiko as an explain, but Yumiko, of course, denies that fact. Sachi then told the girls that she brought something from Yuji's room, and it was a report about Yuji's past, all put together after it was shredded. Since that, they did not knew anything about Yuji's past. The moment after he knew theirs, they finally looked at what his past is all about. After reading half of Yuji's dark past story, the girls felt sorry to her that Yuji killed a man and that he had no parents to protect him. And according to Sachi, he was a victim of that incident. A man still felt guilty about leaving Yuji's sister Kisuki to die in the minibus disaster. Miki thought that Yuji was in by his master and had lived a relatively enjoyable life, but Yumiko corrected her that his life wasn't enjoyable at all. Even Makino wanted to know how much longer he suffered, so Yumiko decided they should read it until the end of his dark past story. Meanwhile, in Gibbs' office, GB asked Yuji to tell her the rest of his dark past, so she continued where he left. The flashback continues, and in the hospital, GB gets annoyed by his suspicious attitude when GB reminded her that she must take care of Yuji. Then Asako told Yuji that she is getting him out of the hospital, as she treated him harshly by smacking his head. Despite GB's disagreement with treating him harshly, Asako then told him that to him she is a god. After taking him to her cabin, Asako took off Yuji's shirt so she can take a bath, but then GB noticed that his body is covered in wounds, bruises and scars, while Masako notices that he has not eaten anything, so she told GB to go buy some food for all of them, 2 beers just for her and some clothes for him, and they are eating lunch. Yuji, however, did not touch any of his food, but then, without looking looking Yuji killed a fly that was on the table with his hand. He then finally reacted when he looked at the dead fly and felt horrified, so he threw up as night falls while Yuji is asleep. The woman now realized that he is sicker than they thought. Asaka told her that while she was bathing him, Yuji had 2 gunshot wounds and was gouged by a blade, and also he had endless scars and bruises as Asaka was about to drink another can of beer. GB decided to drink one from her. GB said that it will be easier if they had just killed him, but Asaka disagreed, and that as his god, she must keep him alive. The next day, Asaka tried to forcefully feed Yuji some food that she made, but he refused to eat and wants to save him, though she told him that Asaka is only treating him harshly out of concern for him. Then GB noticed what food, a special rice porridge, that she added the deer feathers to the porridge. JB is disgusted and screamed, and she flushed it away, realizing that Asaka is a lazy cook. GB then made Yuji edible food and feed him some. Afterward, they went outside. Yuji met a puppy, and Asaka told him that the puppy belongs to him from now on, as Yuji named that puppy John, though it turned out that the puppy is a girl, as Yuji is playing catch with John. The woman saw him smiling and now realized that he was having a good time, but then JB was outraged when Asaka made a resignation letter for Asaka to retire. However, JB did not allow it, as she reminded her that she is still a spy, serving as the foundation of the series. Asaka told her that she is only doing it because she is scared of Dunin, but that wasn't her only reason. Her other reason was that she doubted she is capable of being extreme long distance sharpshooting anymore, because the vision in her right eyes has getting worse, but instead of returning, she might get a part-time job rearing her next generation, or she might become an instructor at the hunting school for America. And whenever Asaka goes, she will take Yuji with her. At night time, Asaka woke up to find Yuji outside, where he looked at the stars, while he was crying about something, until John comforted him. The next day after GB leaves, Yuji is running in the forest, because Asaka told him to while John accompanies him. Then she started training him how to fight, only to slam him down and kick him in the stomach. She often told him to not just use his strength, but to use his head when the condition gets tough, and then Yuji called John for help. She ran towards Asaka, beat her leg. Elaf Asaka doesn't recall him, requiring assistance when autumn began. Asaka told Yuji that his speed will make him popular in elementary school, his strength will make him popular in middle school, and his brain will make him popular in high school. So for that, she wanted him to read all the books. When night falls, Asaka was doing gun maintenance by polishing her gun while smoking a cigarette. She even told Yuji that she worked for the series, which stands for the Central Intelligence and Research, second, a Japanese-American affiliate anti-terrorist organization. Her job was to defeat the enemies by any means necessary, dead or alive. Asaka decided she will train and see how to shoot, even though she had already done that while in his Oslo's camp. The next day comes, and she wanted him to shoot a can from far away with a snipping gun. She fired a bullet, but he missed it. He tried it again. Only this time, he successfully shoots the can off the rocks. After that, Asaka gives him the prize, a big black case, and she gives him the combination code, which is 1929. Yuji opened the case and saw what was inside, and then 34S VS, a special kind of sniping gun, and it is his to keep. And so for all the listen, she touched him. Yuji decides to call Seiko master. Then during winter, Asaka showed Yuji the 250 MTI registered native round ZG sent to her so that they will go hunting with this. After that, they went camping while drinking a cup of coffee. Soon after, she wanted him to shoot the deer, but when it looked at him, he was unable to shoot it as the deer ran away. Asaka becomes slightly disappointed that he did not shoot the deer. Later back in his Asako cabin, Yuji witnesses a miss in the living room, and then he saw a wild grizzly bear in the kitchen, while Yuji rushes to Asaka's room, get his snapping gun, and rushed back into the living room. The bear caught John by biting her and killing her. When Yuji was about to shoot the bear, his cohorts prevented him from doing so, as the bear go away with John. However, robbers then just staying inside. Yuji went after the bear with his gun and a knife by following John's blood marks as the bear's footprints. He was going to shoot the bear, but he slipped in the snow and fell. As the bear hears the trigger and goes after him with his gun covered in dirt, Yuji tried to stab the bear with his his knife, but it managed to remove his knife from his hand. Just when the bears is about to kill him, Yuji uses his sword to kill it, so he stabs the bear's left eye with a stick. Yuji then removes the dirt from his gun by hitting the tree, so he can finally kill the bear. However, he saw the two baby cubs, realizing that the bear is its mother and it was going to feed John to them. He was horrified, and after he threw up again, he fired his gun, presumably killing the cubs while they are eating. John and Asaka heard that sound from the forest. When Yuji came back with John's collar, he told Asaka that he could not kill the bear, and then he started crying over the fact that he is weak and useless. As the sun sets, Yuji buried John's collar and made a grave for John. He then told Asaka that he is sick of being a coward and decides to become like her, but she told him that it is not an easy path and that he is still in his mental suggestion that he made him into a killing machine. Asaka still saw him as a wimp who cannot even kill an insect. Then she reminded him of the fact that she took him, and because she got paid to train him into becoming a well-trained man. She then told him a long time ago there was a war, and that one officer once said, "One man, 10 kills," meaning that even if he is surrounded, he must kill 10 enemies by himself. But in that different era, it is now one man, 10 rescues, meaning that he must give up his life in exchange for saving 10 lives. But since he is half a man, she will allow him to rescue only 5 citizens. Yuji-san decides that he will try hard enough that it will not kill him. While Yuji is cooking ramen, Asaka told GB that he is not a virgin, which shocked her. GB then gets furious about it, and when Asaka told her that saying some sort of stuff would make her become a virgin forever, it infuriates Dave. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. Well, you have been with you. See you later. Bye bye.